Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is GameNut321 and welcome to another Five Nights at Freddy's 3 theory video. Now, I know the game hasn't been out yet, but I actually thought of some really clever things and I got some really good theories that you guys might be really interested in. So this video is going to be the top 6 theories I have about Fazbear's Fright, the horror attraction. It's not called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, it's Fazbear's Fright, the horror attraction. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start with the video now, so please give the video a like, share with your friends, and let's get on with the video. Alright guys, so for theory number 6 is going to have to do with the time zone of Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Now, I think Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is going to take place in 2015. The reason being that is because in the description on the Steam Greenlight website, it does state that 30 years later after Freddy's Fazbear's Pizza was shut down, it was actually abandoned. 30 years later, they decided to go back and revive the legend, and in 1987, during the time of Five Nights at Freddy's 2, it was the first Freddy Fazbear's Pizza to be shut down. I forgot which one it was, but Phone Guy does mention that there was a previous Freddy Fazbear's related pizza place called Fredbear's Diner, and then they moved on to Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and they made more animatronics and stuff like that. And when they actually started to hear stuff about, you know, smelly suits, murders happening, people go missing, or whatever they, you know, goes on in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, they decided to close it down and shut it down and stuff like that. And then later on, from 1987 to 1993, where Five Nights at Freddy's 1 took place, they decided to bring Freddy Fazbear's Pizza back, but because of the low budget, they decided to only bring back 3 animatronics. They kept Foxy back there in the out of order service area, and you were limited on power because it was low budget. So what this has to do with the game Five Nights at Freddy's 3 being taken place in 2015 is that when the original Freddy Fazbear's shut down in 1987, 30 years later, it should be 2015. So Five Nights at Freddy's 3 should exist in 2015. I already made a video about this before. You can go ahead and click on the video in an annotation below. Not the annotation, the description. But I will put an annotation. I really don't care. But let's go ahead and hit the next theory. Okay guys, so for theory number 5, the horror attraction could be 2 floors. Now, I went over a video about this map right here that Scott Games website had updated. It did say something about how there was a new map, and if you brighten up the image, there are some secret passages around the area of the main areas of the map. You know, you see camera 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but when you look around it, when it's brightened, you do see another passageway. Now, people are assuming that this is probably some vents that the golden animatronic can probably sneak through, but I highly doubt that the golden animatronic that big can fit through, you know, vents that small. But I'm pretty sure the vents will probably be a little bigger. If you're looking at this Five Nights at Freddy's 2 gameplay right now, you can see that the vents are pretty big in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. And like I said in Theory 6, they did go back to the 1987 one, which is the one in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and there's already vents all around the area, so maybe there was a secret passage for animatronics to move around, or maybe there is secret vents around it that the golden animatronic can go through, so he could possibly get you from the left side and the right side. But on the subject about how the attraction could be 2 floors, is that it may be 2 floors because you do see hallways, and it's like little walkways, and since like it's darkened and stuff, you brighten them up and they just look like hallways. They don't look like rooms. So it could be just hallways that lead into the middle of all those lines, and it maybe leads to the kitchen where all the pizza is made. It's a possibility, but there's not really much evidence on this. It's just that it could be 2 floors. Okay guys, so for theory number 4, this is going to go over the animatronic head pieces that are in the box. And you know, you guys see the box that is in the corner of the room in one of the images on Steam Greenlight. Now, when you go over this image, it was a teaser on Scott Games' website. You look at it and it looks creepy, and then when you save it, it says, what can we use? And we already know that pretty much. But there is one thing I think this box is going to do. There is no way that Scott would just leave a box there sitting with just empty Freddy Fazbear animatronic suits and headpieces and stuff like that. They're going to come to life eventually. I'm pretty sure like on a night 3 or a 4 or a 5, you're going to go into your camera view, and then you're not going to see any animatronics in the box, and maybe they escaped somehow, and maybe they escaped into the vents, because you guys know that if you look at vents in like real life, they're not that big. Like, they're super duper skinny, and maybe since these animatronic headpieces are so tiny, they might be able to put themselves together and they can probably move in the vents. We already saw the Mangle be able to move like in crazy areas in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. So maybe all these animatronic pieces in this box, they might put themselves together with whatever piece that they have. Maybe like a demon comes down and then they take over all the suits, and he puts himself together, and then he escapes while you're too busy looking at your camera or something, and it might turn something crazy. Like, I know you guys are looking at this image right now, and I don't know who drew this, but this looks fantastically awesome, and I like it. It's really abstract and creepy. There might be something like this, I'm not sure, but it could relate to the game somehow. But I just wanted to bring this up. It's just a little theory of mine. I mean, if I was making Five Nights at Freddy's 3, there's no way I'm leaving a box with just empty heads and they're not going to do anything. They're going to do something crazy, so I just can't wait to see if there's anything really cool going to happen like that. I would love to see just like a mashup of all the toy animatronics, all creepy, like they're broken, their teeth are showing. I don't know, that'd be so cool for a jump scare. Like, I would freak out if that was a real thing. So yeah, let's go on to the next one. Alright guys, so for theory number 3 has to involve the arcade machine at the end of the hallway that you see in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 trailer. Now, just looking at the straight up trailer, we don't really see much about the arcade machine, but what we can kind of relate it to is in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, when you do die, sometimes you get these death mini games, and these death mini games are very important to the whole overall story of, you know, the secret behind the animatronics. But this arcade machine, why is an arcade machine here in the hallway at the very end of it? Like, why is there one? I'm gonna show you guys the actual Garry's Mod version of Five Nights at Freddy's 3 map. Now, this Garry's Mod version isn't finalized, but it kind of gives you an idea where the arcade machine is at, and as well as the other parts of the map. It's not done yet, but I'm pretty sure when the game comes out, the whole Garry's Mod map will be done. So I'm gonna go show you guys the map right here in a second, so we'll cut to that in 5 seconds. Okay, that was 5 seconds right there. Alright guys, so we're going to take a look at this Five Nights at Freddy's 3 map off of Garry's Mod. I'm not sure who made this exactly. There's like a ton of downloads for it, but let's go ahead and have a look here. These are obviously the cameras, you know. I don't know if these are accurate, but you can easily just look through these cameras right here. But we're going to go down the hallway and check through. This is obviously, hold on, let me delete some stuff. Okay, this is obviously the room that you start in. I don't know why I have an error here. I must be missing something. Right here could possibly be the vent on the right side if you guys think that the outside of this map has vents and stuff. There's also another vent right here, and if I go out here, I got a flashlight. This is a blind spot right here. If we look right here on the map, it seems that there is a tiny little thing right here, and there's another one right here too. There's an arrow right here for some odd reason, but there is no arrow down here, and there's a square right here and a square up here. So I don't know what's up with this one. This is probably just a blind spot for another animatronic, another way for the animatronic to get you. Here's a vent right here. I doubt I can break it myself, but I can probably no-clip through it. Nope, there's nothing back there. Okay, so let's go ahead in this way, in this hallway. Got an arrow right here. It's a long, creepy hallway. This is another room. If I keep going this way, this is an arcade. Now, I wouldn't say this is an arcade. This is just a machine. Pretty much, if you're looking on the map, this kind of circles around a little bit, and there's a button right here, Freddy Fazbear logo type of thing. And this is just a map right here. I can't really say much. We're just looking around it real quick. But I heard that if you press this, something happens. Don't think anything happens. I'm pretty sure if you activate that, then an animatronic comes out. Yeah, see, this error sign wasn't here, but now it's there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm just missing a Freddy Fazbear type of model. I really don't know, but yeah, that's a quick look at the map right there. But we did go over here to the arcade. We came out this way, ran this way, and we're at this camera view right here, right now, actually, and we're looking down this hallway with the screen. There has to be something up with that arcade machine. I don't know why that arcade machine is there. It's there for some odd reason, but this is just the map on Garry's Mod. I don't think this is an exact replica of it, but I'm pretty sure when the game comes out, it'll be at its fullest, its best. So let's go ahead and get back to the main topic. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and look at theory number 2. From here on out, it gets pretty confusing because I'm going to start blabbering a little bit. So if you're at this point right now, I know it's 9 minutes long, but I just want to thank you guys for getting this far. If you're brand new to this channel, please subscribe. It will really help me out a lot. I'll be doing plenty of Five Nights at Freddy's videos in the future, so yeah, just subscribe if you're new here. But let's get on with the theory. Number 2 is I think that the golden animatronic could very well be Bonnie, or this just adds on to my theory that it could be Bonnie. I made a video about the animatronic. It was top 10 theories about the golden animatronic, and I think it could possibly be Bonnie, but this just adds on to it, and this game it shouldn't be called Fazbear's Fright, the horror attraction. It should be called Bonnie's Fright, the horror attraction. I really don't know. It's a possibility. I've been looking up things about people calling him the hybrid, people calling him the Salvage, people just calling him Golden Bonnie. I'm getting all these crazy names. I'm not going to make this official, but I think it could very well be Bonnie. In the trailer for the first game, Bonnie was shown as the most important. I don't know if you guys seen it, but it pretty much shows Bonnie quite a bit in that trailer. And in the second trailer, who was the first one to be shown? It was Bonnie, and the camera pans over to his body. You know how the camera pans over and you hear the children singing, and then you see just Bonnie, and he's just sitting there, and his face is torn out. And if you notice how Bonnie in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 trailer, he's sitting the same way, in the same position as the golden animatronic in the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 trailer, and that just adds on to it. And in the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 trailer, when you first watch it, the animatronic that comes up, which is the main three original ones, which is Freddy, Chica, and Bonnie, Bonnie actually looks over at you. The other animatronics don't even look at you. Only Bonnie does. And all those trailers actually have something to do with Bonnie. Like, you can just easily tell that they're all kind of Bonnie related. Besides Freddy, looking at Bonnie, it's kind of like revolved around him. So this new animatronic mostly looks like Bonnie. I mean, like, just look at it. You see his ear, you see his other ear, it's like half bent off. He kind of has the same eye shape, he kind of has the same head shape, the same body shape. It's very similar, so this could be Bonnie. And also, to add on to that, you do see something called Shadow Bonnie in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. You kind of just see like a Bonnie shaped form in your main security room when you're playing it. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there is something called Shadow Bonnie in your room, and it could have something to do with Five Nights at Freddy's 3 and that new animatronic, because in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, they went back 30 years later after 1987 to revive the legend. They turned it into a horror attraction, and maybe they decided to get a bunch of animatronic pieces that were left behind and just make one whole animatronic, and maybe it's called the hybrid or the salvage or whatever name people are calling it, but it's just a possibility. I'm really not sure. But this is all I can really say about Bonnie. It's just adding on to it. If you want to see my other video about my top 10 theories about Bonnie, you can either click this annotation if you're on a computer, or if you're on a smartphone or a tablet, you can go down in the description, and there will be a link to that video so you can check that out if you want to. But let's go ahead and get on with theory number 1, and I'm going to spend quite a lot of time on this, so just be prepared. Alright guys, so I've been looking around lately. I've been looking up videos, I've been looking up the comment section of various Five Nights at Freddy's videos, I've been looking up articles, and I'm kind of getting this big, huge idea about Fazbear's Fright, the horror attraction, or Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Now, I don't know where to start with. I don't want to get too confusing, but I'll just break it down into small little bits as best I can. I even like type this in like a notepad on my computer to make sure I'm organized with it. So here we go, guys. Okay, so since in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, this is called Fazbear's Fright, the horror attraction. It's not Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, it's Fazbear's Fright, the horror attraction. And since it is a horror attraction, a lot of kids are not going to want to go to a horror attraction. You know, little kids tend to like colors and, you know, Disney characters and stuff like that. So they want to go to like a colorful place with rainbows and unicorns to have a nice fun time. I mean, if I saw a Haunted Mansion and I saw Disney World, 9 times out of 10, actually 10 out of 10, I would go to Disney World and something like that, because no one wants to go into a Haunted Mansion or anything like that unless like you're one of those creepy kids that they do in the movies. Hey man, I dare you to go in the thing and get killed by a kid. I don't care. That's kind of off topic, but if I was a kid, I don't want to go into no scary place. So when they decided to go back 30 years later to revive the legend, and the legend was that in Five Nights at Freddy's 1 and 2, there was animatronic, but then some things happened, some kids got murdered, and they decided to close it down for good. And since there was a lot of horror stories back then, 30 years later, no one really remembers the moments that happened in Five Nights at Freddy's 1 and 2, so people just knew, oh yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's, or during Freddy Fazbear's Pizza years ago, there were some kids missing, they had some other stuff, and they decided to close it down, and now it's just a horror story and an old fairy tale. Maybe they decided to revive it as a Fazbear's Fright horror attraction, because if they just named it Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, people would be like, oh, wasn't that place like bad and stuff like that, I'm not going there, and they would run out of business. So they decided to turn into a horror attraction. And since it's a horror attraction, maybe it's only an attraction for customers, and it's dedicated to, you know, like a video game or something like that. Like maybe you walk in, you sit down, and you play as a security guard, and maybe the mirror or the window that's in front of you, maybe that's just like a fake room or something like that. Maybe the place isn't that big, it's probably just a simulation, and people just go in there as a horror attraction. And that golden animatronic was probably like leftover pieces from when they went back 30 years later to scavenge anything, and they put that animatronic together, and maybe they just put those extra headpieces to go into your room in that little box. Maybe they're just extra headpieces or something like that. I'm really not sure, but it could be a possibility that it's just a horror attraction and it's not an actual Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. There's only one animatronic, and maybe like when they put that together, maybe they're kind of using it as like a test subject animatronic before they make other ones, and maybe it's like a prototype type of animatronic. People are calling it the hybrid. I've been seeing people call it the Salvage, Golden Bonnie, or something else. I really don't know, but they're probably just using this. This is probably an actual horror attraction, like a game, or maybe just something for people to play. I don't know, guys. It's just anything. Like, just think about it. The place is shaped like a maze. Like, just look at the layout of the map. I mean, if it was an actual Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, there would be a big giant room for a bunch of kids to sit on, and there would be like a show stage and, you know, a bunch of chairs for the kids to sit on, like in Five Nights at Freddy's 1 and 2. But in this game, you do not see anything related to a pizza place. Like, you see all the pizza on the walls, you see all the drawings of the kids on the walls and stuff like that, but you don't see any kitchen. So it's obviously an attraction. I don't think that this place is an actual restaurant for kids and adults to eat at. Like, there's pizza everywhere on the walls. Like, you can just tell. This is just a little theory, but I'm actually going to break this down, whether it's going to be true or false. And like I said, I'm going to get very confusing. So if you're here at this point and you're with me, then keep watching. But if you got a little confused, just back up a little bit. But I actually thought of some reasons as to why this theory could be false, that this is just an attraction and it's not a real thing. It's just like a game or a simulation. Now, it probably won't be a simulation or a game, because the trailer signifies he a few times. It says he will come back, he always does. And if it was a horror attraction, I think it would say they, like, come to the horror attraction. Many people have tried it and they were scared. You know, they would actually, the messages would be for a crowd or something like that, and it would attract people. But it says he will come back, he always does. So maybe when you do come back, you probably come back as another character from a long time ago, maybe 1987. Then 30 years later, you come back and you work there as a security guard, and then, you know, something happens. I really don't know, guys. But yeah, that's kind of getting off topic. But when those messages pop up, it says he will come back. So, like I said, it's trying to attract customers, and it's a horror attraction. I don't think it would say he. But it could be just the trailer, and that's it. To also add on to that, when the animatronic gets you, it doesn't look like he kills you. He kind of just like floats forward. Like, he moves next to you, gets close to you, and he smiles, makes a hissing noise like a machine slowing down and releasing the air, the compressed air in whatever he has inside of the robot. I don't know. But just understand it's a teaser trailer. I know Scott is still working on the game and stuff, and there's a lot that needs to be done. But just look at all the other animatronics in the past 2 games. They actually look like they kill you. Like, just look at the Mangle. She comes down and just like swoops down, just opens her mouth and just like bites your head. Foxy jumps out at you. Chica jumps in your face with his mouth just gaping open. Like, just look at that. They look like they kill you. But in this trailer right here, it just looks like the animatronic just comes up at you and just like does a hissing noise and then like stops. Like it's an animatronic or a fake one that just moves by like a machine underground and it like just hisses. I'm really not sure about that, guys, but that's pretty much the only things I can think of that can make that theory false that I said just earlier about Fazbear's Fright being a horror attraction. Now I'm actually going to go over what might make it true that it is a horror attraction. Okay, so here we go, guys. It may be a horror attraction, but maybe when you go work at the place to work there for the night shift, something happens and then the game gets activated. And then you try to turn off the power or the game or just restart it or something, but it won't stop. Like, the game just keeps going on. So the only way you know how to beat the game is to beat it itself. Like, you know, you have to play the game for maybe, I don't know, like 10 minutes straight. And then when you beat the game, then it shuts off automatically or something like that. And so when you play the game and stuff like that, but you start to notice some weird things going on with the animatronics and stuff like that. You notice something and the animatronics look like they're actually trying to kill you. Like, you're just going through your cameras, you're looking through the hallway, you probably see like the hybrid or the Salvage or the golden animatronic sneaking out the side, and his eyes like turning red and it's blood and it's gushing out. I really don't know, but maybe you might notice something, and then maybe you playing as a security guard, you're probably remembering, oh my god, these animatronics are coming back to life. The legends were true and stuff like that. And remember, I did say in the description of Five Nights at Freddy's 3, they were trying to revive the legend, and maybe the legend was rumors and old ghost stories about Five Nights at Freddy's 1 and 2 back then in 1987 and 93 and the Bite of 87 and all that other stuff. So when you go there working the night shift, you know that the only way to get the game to stop is to survive 10 minutes and stuff like that. So that's actually pretty cool right there and stuff like that. So maybe it is a horror attraction, but when you go there to work the night shift, everything just turns dark and evil, and then you have to survive the 5 nights at Freddy's and stuff. I don't know. I'm just blurring out random stuff. Like I said, I did warn you that I was going to confuse you. And to actually add on to that, when I said something about the maps on the, the map of Five Nights at Freddy's 3, there might be vents on the outside of the map, and since this actual animatronic you see in the trailer, he's a really big animatronic. I really don't think he can fit in the vents, actually, but there is one thing I have to mention. You guys know the box that you do see in the main room in Five Nights at Freddy's. In Five Nights at Freddy's 3, the trailer, actually. When you look at that box, you see a bunch of empty masks and stuff like that from Five Nights at Freddy's 2, like the toy animatronics and stuff like that, and they're all just stuffed in the box. What if you go there during your night shift, and then you're looking at your cameras or something like that, you have the left side and the right side, and then maybe one time when you're looking at the cameras or something like that, you go back and you're like in your first person view, you don't see any of the animatronics in that box, and maybe they escaped and they built their own and stuff like that. And you know how in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, there was the mangle. The mangle was technically torn apart by kids and stuff like that, and then eventually the people who worked there stopped fixing her and just let her be a horror attraction, to take it apart, animatronic type of attraction for kids to mess with now. So since the mangle was all torn apart, the mangle could actually move around Five Nights at Freddy's 2 or Freddy Fazbear's Pizza pretty well. Like, you'll see the mangle just like go up into the roof or the ceiling and the vents and be these creepy, weird positions. So maybe, like I said, when that animatronic or those headpieces come to life, the parts from the mangle actually put itself together, and maybe that weird looking animatronic fan-made drawing I showed you earlier, maybe that can move through the vents, and maybe through the right side of the room, that, you know, mangled up combination of all the toy animatronics will kill you, while on the left side, that golden Bonnie looking like animatronic can kill you, and you have 2 animatronics to worry about. I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but if you actually look at some Steam Greenlight images of Five Nights at Freddy's 3, if you look at this right here, you're looking at some options like the vents and stuff like that, and when you're actually looking at it, it looks like you have a little screen that comes out the left side of your screen. And if you do the same to the right side, you pretty much have your camera views, and you obviously see something coming from the right side of that screen. So it looks like you're gonna have like a left side and a right side. And when you're looking at your right side, which is the cameras, that could possibly be the little entrance point from the vent or the secret vent that's on the right side of you, judging by the brightened up map picture that you see on screen right now. And on the left side, where you're looking at your tools, which is the other stuff like the ventilation and all that other stuff, that covers up the main door that the golden animatronic comes through. So you kind of have to like choose wisely and stuff like that. I wouldn't say you have to choose, but that's actually a really good idea from Scott, because see, if you open up your left side to activate the vents or whatever reboot system or whatever you see right here on the screen, when that's up, it covers up the doorway. So when you put it away and the golden animatronic gets you, he's gonna like surprise the crap out of you, and it's gonna be super duper scary. Like, I can't wait to see that happen. And you know, the same thing for the other side. You're looking at your cameras, and then you push the cameras away, and then you see like a mangled up combination of all those animatronics from the boxes come out you and like spin or go do some crazy animation. I really don't know, but that's a really good jump scare technique. I don't know if Scott was doing that intentionally, but that sounds like a really good idea. But that's kind of getting off topic here, but it doesn't really matter because I don't have anything else I have to say in this video. I know this video is like 23 whole minutes long, like holy cow, but yeah, this is all I got for the video. I know it's a lot to take in. Let me know what you guys think about my #1 theory about how it's a horror attraction and it's not an actual Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. I mean, like I said, Five Nights at Freddy's 3, when you're actually looking at the map off of Steam Greenlight and, you know, off of the Scott Games website, you don't see any big room for the kids to hang out. Like, usually if you go to Chuck E. Cheese or something like that, you'll have a big giant room with a bunch of tables, and like all the kids can sit there on the show stage, and there'll be like another room in the back with all their arcade machines. On this map, you don't see any giant room. It's just a bunch of hallways. So it's obviously going to be a maze, and it's going to trick the people or the players who are playing the actual horror attraction game and stuff like that. So yeah, just remember that I said that. But I have nothing else to say for this video, so you can stop hearing me talk. Go ahead and put your comments down below. I know the comment section is about to blow up, but yeah, I hope you guys liked the video. make sure you guys check out my Garry's Mod animation. I made a video a while ago called How to Make Five Nights at Freddy's 2 Kinda Scary, and then like months later I made a Garry's Mod version of that. So I'll go ahead and put an annotation on screen, and I'll put some links in the description below. But yeah guys, make sure you check out those videos if you want some funny videos. Go ahead and comment down below, give the video a like, share it, subscribe, do whatever you can, because I work pretty hard on my videos and I could use the support, so thanks. Nothing else I have to say, so cue the outro.